แต่มันแล้วว่าผมเอาไปเลี้ยงได้ดูโคตุกแค่ได้โยกจะได้ดูเยอะมากจะไม่ได้จัง
Even way early in early spring, late winter, where the currents run,
Okay.
the ice becomes dangerous and opens up way before it would.
Okay. Can we mark those places on the?
Tak sekunde det der qua outside the over street.
I'll give you a color.
And then I said a lot of matter to look now. Nangyang mas sorry so will to know.
Or just mark it, but just write on it
Okay,
the description.
okay.
Yeah.
Alla bigyan na ako sa mga tanah to no.
มันจะ
Nangyang mas sorry so will to.
มันน่ะมันเลยก็มันเลยน่ารู้ละมันจะแค่สู้จะมันจะว่าเรื่องที่ว่ารักษาเป็นอะไรอยู่ก็ต้องรักษาบุตรเราไม่ได้ย้อนหลังจะขลุ่ยตัวอีกเรื่องนึงที่คุณก็คือความอีกเรื่องนึงก็ได้ไม่เจอตัว
The ice melts faster now because it doesn't get as thick during the winter as it used to. And when geese first start arriving, it's still pretty cold. But he found that one year he couldn't even go to a certain area on the west of Johnson Island, southwest of Johnson Island, because the ice was so treacherous. So when you're Arctic.
No, we're Arctic. We're not Arctic. Quite a lot of the actual
When it didn't used to become dangerous way late into late spring, the ice was thick.
Right.
But it is colder this winter than it was last winter because he could do his sampling in his sweater without his coat
Aye.
last year.
Last year. No, it's colder this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the places where currents run become dangerous early now.
He's marking those on the map. Maybe we'll do that in green.
Okay.
Or will that go with it?
Yeah. That's a good day. Katakala. Okay. Katala melts faster than Katak does. Katak can have ice in its channel length longer than Katala can.
Aye.
Una kung aso nagsawame, Katalo. Because the current is stronger at Katalak than it is at Katak.
Aye. Aye.
And it's always been like that. That the current is stronger at Katalak. Akatan. The channel in between Johnson Island and Weekend Island becomes dangerous early too now, and he's come in his hunts. He's come across two hunting parties, different years, that lost their skidoo because they went under ice.
When was that? What time?
Kasi kaya sila ko ni.
87 years old.
In the 80s, probably.
Kuala Odielo, Kara Kuhipu, Rockini, Kamandi, right.
And I'll have a couple lost the skidoo around that same time too.
This was in the 80s.
Yeah.
And what season?
Upangakod, in
In the
springtime.
springtime.
Nangyang masir sa kakat at nako. When the season, if it was going according to season, the ice would have still been safe to travel on.
Okay, so this is in the 1980s.
Yes.
Oh.
Manoko could tell him about it. No, I just I get along with all. Satum.
Last winter they couldn't even go to Bakersdown Island because the bay in between Bakersdown Island and Manimana did not freeze over.
Okay, do we have that area marked?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
But he hasn't marked that the Bakersdown Island did not freeze.
Okay, so let's mark that.
Sikuning ito ane taksa yung tehong ito mo.
Upangawit luwa, upangawit luwa.
Okay. It tried to freeze over in early spring.
Oh, really?
Ito mo na. Naku, bakit?
Bawat siya, ilatlo, ilatlo, Jackson. Upangawit luwa, ulit luwa, hikuwag na luwa.
Because he would go to high points to see where the ice was now at the time. And the area close to Bakersdown Island tried to freeze over in early spring, but it was too late. And it got too fast after that. Oh, you look sick. Oh, you look sick. Howard Point, Lilico Point. Is that Lilico Point? The channel in between Lilico Point and the island gets dangerous early now too.
Okay, that's marked?
Yeah. Marked in green.
At what time of the year?
Upangakot in the spring.
Early spring or spring?
Early spring. Ay. Kalau nak dapat sudah nak apa sudah nak dapat. Upang hamil lagu, upang apalagi lagu, nangang masasawat tu. In early spring. And I don't know if I mentioned, but he said earlier that freeze-up used to start happening in November.
Okay.
Ay, okala ko medyo ako kuan anak ko. November ni siku balewes lorma.
Wala ko likupon.
Or siku alto na sunay.
Mandawa likupon.
And even freeze over right into Coates Bay. Nangyayari na sunay. Yung abigami. And be safe to travel on.
By when?
In November.
It would be safe to travel on in November? And what is it now?
Takatak, November libo. Tawag na ka naman. Oops, they were traveling by canoe in November.
Aye.
Between Coates in Coates Bay by canoe in November.
In November.
That they would have been traveling by skidoo on.
Aye. And is it frozen over by January?
Takatak si ko sa Mantawura.
No.
Tawan na. Man na. Yes, it's safe now, but there was an area that froze over and became safe to travel on only after Christmas. Do you want a different color?
Maybe blue?
Okay, then, 50 na to win. Security na to win the Huwes sa Melkilo.
Banjo
Mani.
man huwag ito. Man siguro ka lang ulali. Man Captain. Mani. Ayaw ko yung mga araw man. Tulong yun.
Ay. Taksilaw ka tayo man. There's an area on Howard Peninsula in Coates Bay that freezes over later than the rest of the bay. Siku kapayon ng paletro na medyo. Cavern.
Medyo.
And it's taking longer for it to freeze over now too than it used to.
Okay, let's mark that area.
And
That's it.
and it's even a big area now.
Sa ko yung araw. So, man tulong man. Iko yung mga
In fact, almost all of the inner Coates Bay water is not safe to travel on after other parts have frozen over to the point where this year it did not become safe to travel on until after Christmas.
Ay.
No kayo nga nakalap na siguro ang abiyo na siguro sa
Tata.
no kayo sa mga makasan eh.
Ano kayo sa
Let
ito?
him mark.
Si Kumar na katlaro. Taman na. Ano katlaro na katlaro.
It was only after the New Year that he heard people traveling on it. Take kole au kada tu na pala lor au kada tu na sa lor mo ma.
Man na. Anta. Man. Kundi. Man ka. Amarin niya doon yung katlaro. Katlaro ni. Hani doon ito. Kuli ang nag-amurat ko ni. Inakatlaro man. Tataw ko. Wiwid ito ata sikuli ay kabuting utama. Manya ito niyo ito at yok ito.
Let him
Tulad
mark.
niyo. Sabi ko katlaro ko.
Take au kada tu ni.
Eh.
I'm asking. I'm not being biased, okay, but I heard Peter talking that there was open water forming after it had frozen, and I'm asking him where they are.
Okay.
For a while, our weather became mild. We even had mist. Mist with small flakes of snow falling, ice crystals maybe. How can there be ice crystals with mist? Around that mild period, we had soft, small flakes of snow falling, plus mist, dew,
Yeah.
and that formed open water after it had frozen over. What ka?
Ano ko na kaya katlaro man. Ano katlaro trikulit do. Kaya katlaro na katlaro sa naman. Baka ang malukad na nato. Matumitok ko na do. Mani. Ito katlaro tumaw.
Mau na si Kito ko na si ukwan na nga sa mga diba?
Pare katlaro dito na kaya kami katlaro abot mo. Satu na kani dito.
Una mata sa yang mo rin sa
La kita tu kita wala kita mani yung dito katlaro dito. Abot mo na tu jato dito. Kani pa ni mas. Auto kum.
And when the ice was forming this winter, it was snowing. That's not good for ice conditions to freeze. If they're at around currents. And this fall, when the ice was forming, snow fell, became part of the ice. And when the weather became milder, it just started to melt to a point where it opened up Polinas.
Okay.
Open water.
Open water.
Open water.
Not Polinas.
Not Polinas.
Yeah.
On areas that they were able to travel on before, when this area was still treacherous, the parts marked in green. These two areas in blue became dangerous after the green became safe.
So where was the areas that was open water?
At the south tip end of the shorter end of Johnson Island.
Shall we mark that in orange?
He's marked them in blue.
That's in blue.
Yeah.
The dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.